text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
I think TCU is a good team. They won 9 games last year. A very competent quarterback coming back. I don't think Sonny Dykes is a slouch.
No?
As you know, everything about UNC is sort of unknown. What the heck kind of offense they're going to run to what the heck kind of defense they're going to run. I mean, it's 39 guys they got out of the transfer portal. 30 true freshmen. I mean, Belichick says we have 70 new players on this roster. He's right. From the head coach's whistle down, it's entirely new.
Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. What is going on? Hope everybody's well. Nothing happened yesterday. Wow. We had, for us, locally, 2 football games start the season involving 3 of the teams that we would pay attention to. We had a dumb blockbuster trade. Dumb. Stupid. I mean, if you wanted to say Dallas is tanking for Arch Manning, I'd buy it. Of course, they don't really need Arch Manning since Dak Prescott is under contract for at least 2 more seasons beyond this one before the dead cap hit would essentially avoid half of their salary cap. They really don't know what they're doing there, do they? Shocking that somebody not trained to be a general manager in the National Football League would, suck at being a general manager in the NFL. Is what it is. But welcome to your weekend. I am Adam Gold. That is Victoria.
It's a Friday.
There you go. Everybody can move on with the rest of their Friday.
I
know. Woke up today. It was like 40. I'm not from. It's like 53 degrees.
Yeah.
This morning when we got up.
I know.
It smelled footballish.
I know. This might be the last fake fall. I feel like we got another. We probably have another round of warm weather.
We'll have 80s, mid to high 80s, maybe even into the 90s again before we are done with it.
Yeah.
But this has been a nice extended run of temperatures, daytime temperatures like in the low 80s, high 70s.
Yeah.
It's been really good, and I am not going to complain about it.
I know. Well, and I know you like stats, and I think this is the second coolest August.
Yeah.
Since like 1991 or something.
Right. Absolutely. It's been tremendous. And after the July we had, I think we all deserve it.
I know. We're still recouping.
Very good. All right. We got a lot of things to do, so we should get started.
Let's get it started.
All right.
Let's get it started.
So NC State's 24-17 win over East Carolina had something for everybody. It had a win for me. I told you, 14.5 points, too many.
Mm-hmm.
Under 61.5. That was the parlay, my parlay. Yes, I give you one. We've been giving you at least one winner a day.
Yeah,
for like 2 weeks now. I didn't
Yankees
win the other 2.
Baseball bet won.
Oh, there you go.
I took the Yankees in the over. They covered that by themselves last night.
Yeah, because they were playing like a 1AA team.
Yeah, pretty much.
An FCS opponent. So, yeah, we're trying to give you winners. Trying to give you a little help, a little nudge. Put that in the college fund. So, the Wolfpack won, though some of you were mad anyway.
Of course.
ECU lost, though I definitely think we saw some good things that might hold out hope that this year 1.5, if you will, under Blake Harrell, could end up being a good one. Was the game closer than it should have been from an NC State perspective? Yes. The scoreline, as we say in another sport, definitely flattered ECU. I give them credit, tons of credit, for hanging in. But for State, this was hardly the disaster some people are trying to portray it as.
Yeah.
Like, it's week 1. East Carolina was never going to allow you to get out of control. And frankly, we saw a lot of the same things we always see from State. But let's get to the two head coaches. We'll start with Dave Doran. In general, thoughts on the win.
I'm really proud of the guys finding a way to win, and a hard-fought game, and ECU played really hard. I love the way that defense battled there at the end. It's great to have a goal line stand like that to win a football game. And being 1-0 with a lot of things that we can get better at, it's a good place to be. I was really excited about how we started fast, and penalties really derailed a lot of drives on offense. We've had some bonehead penalties and false starts, different things like that. I thought we protected the ball well. We didn't fumble the football all night. We had some explosive plays, throwing the ball down the field. Guys made contact catches. Wesley and Teddy, obviously. Our backs ran hard. Defensively, we held them to 30 yards rushing or 29-yard rushing or something like that. And it was a good win, really good win. And so proud of the guys. And at the same time, though, there's a lot of things that we can do better.
All right. Dave Doran mentioned the goal line stand. I mean, it wasn't at the goal line, so it's not really a goal line stand, but it was definitely inside the 10, where East Carolina somehow in a 24-17 game had the ball 3rd and 1 inside NC State's 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there going, I really can't absorb a touchdown here, because if we're going to overtime under 61.5, unlikely to hold. So I was looking at it from a selfish perspective, not to mention that I am not a college overtime fan.
Yeah.
Regardless of all of that, they stuffed the run on 3rd and 1 and then made a very good play on a swing pass on 4th and 1, and here's the head coach.
Well, I thought it would either be a repeat of their speed option, which they scored on earlier in a similar situation, or what they ran, the naked crack screen that they ran on us last year in the bowl game as well. So I didn't expect them to try to run the ball up the middle. I thought it'd be something off the edges. Defense did a great job, crack replacing, and Coach Elliott prepared them well for that play. We practiced that play throughout the week. Played just like that. I think we ran it 4 or 5 times in the red zone, and kids executed. Corner came up, big solid tackle on a tight end. So I was proud of those guys on defense. They had a couple of 4th down stops in the game that were big.
Yeah, they did. East Carolina didn't have any success running the ball. I questioned the 3rd and 1 call, honestly. Like, you know where they had some success? With Hauser actually keeping the ball. But they had more success throwing the ball even short. To me, on 3rd and 1, you do that twice. Anyway, here's Blake Harrell, ECU head coach.
Yeah, we didn't get off the greatest start early and just, kind of feeling our way through it, and kind of got a score right for the half and came out and still kind of feeling our way through it, then kind of battled back here in the 4th quarter and driving down with a chance to win. I think anytime you're in a ball game, you have a chance to go win at the end of the game. That's where you want to be. Obviously we've got to execute, go stick in the end zone, and give ourselves that opportunity. But, I thought our kids fought to the end. We got a lot of stuff to clean up. You obviously always do after game one. But shout out to Coach, hats off to Coach Doran and to his football team. I thought they did some good things. And honestly, they executed better than we did tonight. That's the difference in the game.
Yeah, look, it was a sloppy game on both ends, right? We don't have to pretend that we witnessed one of the great all-time games. But that's the beauty of college football. College football is rarely aesthetically pleasing. It's just fun. That's, again, from my perspective, if you're tuning in to see pristine execution, then I will say that you're new to this, because that's not what college football is about. A couple of things that jump out to me. State still has a tendency to pull the reins as opposed to go for the throat when they have opportunities to put games away. Protecting a field goal as opposed to, going after that touchdown. I mean, I think play calling dictates, all right, we're in good position here. Let's not screw it up. And invariably they screwed it up. Dave Doran mentioned penalties. Yeah. First drive of the game, I think they were inside the 10, end up with a personal foul, end up settling for a field goal. That's not good. They had a penalty in the second half that knocked them back, and a longer field goal was pulled badly. Like the two second-half field goals that were missed, the first one was the contact was dreadful. Like it wasn't even end over end. It looked like it was like spiraling, like vertically. It was awful. The second one that was missed, I think he hit good, but from the left hash, he was well wide to the right. So I don't know, overcompensating, who knows. But it was not good. The field goal kicking was suboptimal. I actually thought ECU's kicker, like if they didn't commit a penalty that knocked them back, I think they make the field goal to end the half and take advantage of the C.J. Bailey. The one mistake he made, the C.J. Bailey mistake, the interception right before the end of the half. I loved Wesley Grimes. I loved Teddy Hoffman. Teddy Hoffman, true freshman, looks like he's going to be a star. From the State's coaching perspective, you got caught twice by East Carolina. They surprised you twice. Caught you with your pants down on 3rd and long, which was the touchdown play. You had 12 men on the field. You tried to sub. You couldn't get your players on and off the field in time. Then it was poor tackling, but that was a long touchdown play for East Carolina. And then you got caught on the fake punt. East Carolina really didn't do much offensively. Yes, I know what the stats look like at the end, and they did move the ball in the air late in the game. But to me, it was not. NC State's defense looked really good to me. Neither team ran the ball. That's the other thing for NC State. Other than the first drive, you didn't run the ball worth a hoot. And that's got to change. That's got to change. All right, to the other game. Actually, we'll get to Duke in a minute. I want to get to, very quickly, I want to get to the Micah Parsons trade. Yeah, that happened yesterday. Never thought it would happen. I thought you have a player like Micah Parsons. Yeah, okay, this is negotiating. You deal with it. You bring him in because he is one of those players. And he's only been in the league for 4 years. You've got at least 3 high-level years with a transcendent defensive player. And Dallas just pulled the cord. That's it. You're out. Packers sending 2 first-round picks plus defensive tackle Kenny Clark to the Cowboys for Parsons, and then they paid him a ton because Green Bay's trying to win a Super Bowl. That's why they paid him a ton. Here's Jerry Jones on why.
The facts are we need to stop the run. And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times for several years. And when you have the kind of extraordinary pass rush that Michael had, then the way to mitigate that pass rush is to run at you. If the pass rush doesn't get you ahead pretty big time and you're playing even or behind, then you've really got a problem in stopping the run.
That's a lot of pressure on Kenny Clark. Dude, you're going to be 30 in like 4 weeks. You got to come in and make us a great run defense. Gosh. Like I said before, what did I say? I said I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas was in tank mode. It sounds to me like they're in tank mode for Arch Manning. Jerry doesn't believe that's the case.
Well, again, we've certainly got a new coaching staff. And a third of all the players are new. And so obviously there is freshness. We'll use the word new on that basis. But we have the highest paid player in the NFL at quarterback. And we made that commitment last year, and we're proud we made it. It had everything to do with this decision. Everything. It is give us every opportunity with Dak Prescott and Lamb and the base that we've got to win now. And so all you need to do, this would, I'm not so sure this would have been results had we not had Dak. But the fact that we have Dak, we need to stop the run. We really do. We need to get the ball back.
I got nothing for that.
I know. What a word salad.
Jerry made 0 sense yesterday. Look, he's in his mid-80s. I mean, I ain't the only one who's thought, maybe Jerry's lost his fastball.
Yeah.
Could have been, could. All right. I am out of things. I have some other things to say, but let's find somebody else. Maybe to help us make some sense of this, I'm not sure you can make any sense of trading one of the best defensive players in the league for 2 ultimately late first-round draft picks, but Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com, with the First Pick podcast, has already got his top 50 board, I believe, for next draft. Make sense of this for me. It seems to me that this got emotional for Jerry in that he reacted emotionally to a dispute with a pretty transcendent player.
I think that's exactly what happened. And, you know, you watched the press conference yesterday evening, and
yeah,
it's like when your kid runs the car into the mailbox and you're standing there looking at the car in the mailbox and the car's smoking and the kid's explaining to you how it wasn't his fault. He wasn't driving the car and this has nothing to do with him. You know, he's still sitting behind the wheel with the seatbelt on. And I think everyone, you know, pretty early on in that press conference just figured out, okay, this is just Grandpa going on a rampage.
Yeah.
And he's not making sense. And look, I'm not saying that Jerry's senile because he's been this way for 35 years in terms of how he's run that team. It's just that Jerry's being Jerry. And you talked about it, Adam, like they're going to have 2 bottom of the first half, bottom third, first round picks 20 to 32, almost certainly, because that's how good the Packers were the last 2 years after Jordan Love became a starter, and now they're going to be even better because of the players they just added. And I went back and looked, and look, you can hit a home run in that range in the draft. Ed Reed, Vince Wilfork, Cam Hayward, Cam Jordan, T.J. Watt. But those guys are the exception.
Right.
The reality is, going back the last 25 years, is that when you pick in that range 20 to 32, you're getting a replacement-level player on average. And even, I'll put this to you, let's say that they crush it, the Cowboys do with these 2 picks, and they get players that were taken in that range in last year's draft class. Let's say they get a Quinyon Mitchell talent and a Brian Thomas Jr. talent.
Yeah.
Both guys drafted after 20. Does that make them better than if they just kept Micah Parsons and paid him?
No, it
Right.
doesn't. Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Look, I'm not going to in any way apologize for what I think was a bad trade. But it is very possible that Dallas would not have been a playoff team even with Micah Parsons.
Right.
So can you justify it in that regard? I'm not sure you can, but since their defense probably wasn't going to be any good anyway.
Well, I think you have to back up. Yeah, from that, if that's the starting point. Sure, I think Vegas had their over/under at 7.5 prior to the trade, and I'm sure it's down to 5.5 or 6 or whatever it is now. But then you just have to back up because they had to pay
Dak $60 million. They didn't have to pay him $60 million. They waited so long that they had to pay him $60 million, $5 million more than what Joe Burrow was making as the highest paid quarterback. They had to pay CD more than they would have paid him because they drug their feet on that. And then, of course, they drug their feet on Micah. So you can't have 3 players on your roster making 2/3 of the salary cap and expect to be competitive. And Will McClay, who does a lot of the personnel stuff and absolutely crushes it, and you sometimes on the outside looking in feel like he's doing it with his hands tied behind his back. You can't, make chicken salad. So in that sense, yeah, if you're going to pay Micah $47, which is $6 million more than what T.J. Watt makes as the highest paid edge rusher, then you are going to win 7 or fewer games, and it doesn't matter in that sense. But this is Jerry walking himself or painting himself into a corner and then getting angry at the paintbrush and the paint can that he can't get out of it. So, to answer your initial question, sure, they weren't going to be a good football team probably, but that's Jerry just overspending at every single turn to get them to this point.
Yeah, and the 3 high-profile contracts, to me, say everything. He waits until they're the last person to go in. CD Lamb before this one, Dak Prescott twice, and now Micah Parsons, when he could have handled this. Like Parsons said, they could have handled this before last football season.
Right.
And taken care of year 4, 5, and then, 2 years of free agency, 6 and 7. But they opted not to. They opted to wait. They opted to let all of these other guys go to market, get their deals eventually. Look, we can't even throw Cincinnati in here because they ultimately just did a 1-year deal. But they allowed, T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, all these guys to go in before they decided to pay Parsons. It almost seems to me like, well, we can get into what Jerry did wrong here too, but waiting is the first thing. Maybe the other thing is trying to circumvent the agent that Jerry Jones did by trying to deal directly with Micah.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know what the end game is, and I've talked about this with Rand Carthon, the former Titans GM, who's the co-host with me on the podcast. I said, what benefit is there to agitating your best employees? Like, what does that get you? And the line that I always get back is some version of Jerry. There's no bad publicity with Jerry. He loves the Cowboys being in the spotlight. And I always follow up with, there are 2 different types of successes when you're talking about Jerry Jones. No one has done more for the professionalization, quotation marks, of football. He bought that team for whatever, $150 million, and they're worth $10 billion now.
Yeah.
That's an unmitigated success. He's an absolute failure as a general manager. The team hasn't been into the championship game since 96, I believe, and they had the 3 Super Bowl runs back in the Jimmy Johnson era, but since then it's been one disappointment after the next, and that has not been a success. So you can have success on the one hand in the business side of the stuff, and then the football side has not been great. And maybe Jerry, since that team is worth what it is, doesn't mind overpaying these players, but you still have to deal with them in the salary cap, and that brings us back to the original conversation about trying to be competitive when you're paying your 3 players what typical teams pay 25 players.
Right. Yeah, like we've been talking about this for how long, that Jerry, to a point, can be a decent general manager. But the Dallas Cowboys, like their status, should have a great, an elite, a top 3 or 4 GM in the sport. And he's in a division with arguably the best general manager in the sport in Philadelphia's Howie Roseman. And Dallas just doesn't understand. Jerry doesn't understand how to get around it. Ryan Wilson, CBS Sports, just to wrap up the conversation on this, because it's only a one-topic conversation. When Jerry said yesterday that this would, I didn't say would, I think he said could. This could end up being as transformational, and I'm paraphrasing, as the Herschel Walker trade. And I thought, well, clearly now Jerry is beyond it because he clearly doesn't remember what they got for Herschel Walker. 3 firsts, 3 seconds, warm bodies in return as well. No offense to Kenny Clark, the defensive tackle, who was good but is almost 30. He'll be 30 by the time we get to October. But that Herschel Walker trade off of a 1-win Dallas team turned everything around because of the sheer draft capital that they got. 3 firsts and 3 seconds? This ain't 2 late firsts. He's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to push back on that. It reminds me of another quote that I actually wrote down while he was talking last night. And it's just prototypical Jerry, and you could probably insert this quote into every conversation he's had publicly over the last 10 years. He said, I don't regret anything at all. I'm excited we got what we wanted. And, sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for because you're going to get it. And this feels like like I said, maybe they absolutely crush it with these 2 picks and get an Ed Reed and get a Vince Wilfork, and it is transformational. But history suggests that you're going to get something much closer just to an average player that you get at the bottom of the first round that can be a contributor and start some games, and maybe 4.5 years later he's playing somewhere else. And that's the reality that most folks are living in. It boggles the mind that Micah Parsons is 25. You know what you have in Micah Parsons. And our CBS research staff put some stuff out last night. When he is on the field for the Dallas Cowboys over the last 4 years, in terms of EPA per play, expected points added per play on defense, they are first in the NFL. When he is not on the field, they are 32nd, dead last. And that's it. And again, any 2 players you draft are not going to make up for that. So I don't. It just feels like we're talking in circles. Yeah. About what Jerry does, but Jerry does things to placate Jerry to some degree, and then he tries to make us all believe what he's saying is true.
Can Green Bay win the NFC North and be a major player in the NFC playoffs now?
Yeah, and I, when you're talking about Howie Roseman, I was thinking about him, and then also thinking about all the GMs in the NFC North. And I guarantee you, Howie Roseman's reaction to the news was the exact opposite of the NFC North GM's reaction, not named Brian Gutekunst, because now they're like, oh, this just got a lot more difficult for us, whether you're Brad Holmes in Detroit or Ryan Poles in Chicago. Because you are now having to deal with arguably the best edge rusher in the NFL, if not top 2 or 3, who is going to get after it and have something to prove. And, by the way, he's making $47 million a year.
Yeah. Week 4, Green Bay at Dallas. Can't wait. That's just cannot wait for that. Fun. Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com at Ryan Wilson CBS. I thank you very much for the time, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Adam.
Kind of wish the Panthers had forked over 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. Who knows? Maybe they could have gotten it down to a first and a second because Jerry drives a hard bargain. By the way, the time that these 2 picks have a chance to truly impact the Cowboys in a positive way. Will Dak Prescott still be about the 13th best quarterback in the NFL? It's basically what his range is. The next 3 cap hits this year, by the way, is $50 million. Dak Prescott's cap hit. The next 3, next year's cap hit, $74 million. The year after that is $68. The year after that is $78. Enjoy, Dallas. Cory Smith, Pack Pride on State's win over ECU. Next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We are knocking on the door of the regular season for the Carolina Panthers, and there are still so many questions on the defensive depth chart. The depth, the second unit. What happens if someone gets hurt? For the Carolina Panthers defense is the type of question where the answers are harrowing. You don't want to see them. It's like the end of a horror movie. Just roll credits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
We love to celebrate Labor Day weekend with family, friends, picnics, and parties. Please be safe this holiday weekend and don't drink and drive. From your friends at 99.9 The Fan and Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Hey, let's take the dogs hiking.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
Let's dig out all the paint supplies and go ahead and start bickering while we're trapped in a room with paint fumes.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool. What are you doing? Get off Twitter.
It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Week 1 of the college football season is underway. Last night we had 2 local results involving 3 teams. Duke won. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. NC State held off East Carolina thanks to a, we'll use air quotes here, goal line stand, which is like the 7-yard line. It's not quite the goal line, but I get it. They needed some late defensive work, and they got it. Cory Smith, Pack Pride, he will join us to discuss what we saw last night. Look, Cory, I know a lot of the fans were hoping for something more emphatic on the scoreboard, but my read was that NC State was significantly better than East Carolina. It just kind of, the scoreline didn't necessarily reflect it. And there were problems. What's your read on what we saw last night?
Yeah, it's a weird outcome because it's one of those games. I agree with you completely. I mean, it never felt like this game was out of control for NC State. You had it within your reach the entire time, and there were several moments where you have a chance to step on their throat, and NC State just did it. And I don't know if it was all on Doran. Some of the questionable play calling late, or if you want to say it's on Kurt Roper, but this is kind of a Dave Doran special type of thing that typically happens late in games. But, there were also moments like, and I broke it down this morning, CJ Bailey, we like to say, how great he is. And obviously he had some big moments last night, but,
you look at the late, first half interception. That's a moment where you have a chance to kick a field goal or get a touchdown and put yourself in, easier control going into the half. And, the second half, in the beginning of the fourth quarter, they're driving down the field and he takes a sack. They try to kick a field goal, don't make a field goal, do the exact same thing. The very next drive, they get conservative, try to kick a field goal. It's just, there were so many moments where they had to pull away. And I think that may be, a comfort level for you to come away and going, all right, they could have won this game in a bigger fashion, but they just didn't quite do that. Now you work on those things and you become a better team, within the next 8 days before you face UVA.
Yeah, Cory Smith from Pack Pride is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show at @Cory Smith on Twitter. And one of the things I wrote down was, over the last several years, and frankly it's probably more than that, when they have had opportunities to go for the throat, they have been just conservative in their play call. All right, we're in good spot here for a field goal, and I forget who made the big catch down the middle. I think it was it might have been Noah Rogers. Who knows? It might have been Wesley Grimes. I think it was Noah Rogers.
Yeah.
They got down to
It was Wesley Grimes that made the 50. Wesley Grimes made 2 45-yarders.
Okay.
Or 45-plus yarders, yeah.
In the middle of the field, and at that point you go, oh, man, they're going to punch this one in. And they went backwards, right? And then they ultimately missed the field goal. And those types of things, I just felt like, man, go for it. I thought the passing game, apart from the interception, I thought CJ was really good. I thought their running game was also most effective when he was the runner, other than the first drive. So I thought, relying on your quarterback there to do some things might have been better. But look, we've been living this life with Dave Doran for a long time. They get a little conservative at times. But again, I still felt like, if you didn't have a scoreboard, you would have thought that NC State won that game by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and, a big part of that, too, is, again, like I said, there's the big-time plays, the big-time throws that you need to make to progress this offense and get them that much better. They were able to do. And we talked about a little bit on our post-game podcast last night that I did with Michael Clark. We discussed the fact that this team may need to kind of work backwards a little bit. The fact that they're better at pass blocking right now. They're better. They have enough capable receivers right now. The run blocking was horrid last night. I think on an average, the team finished, the entire team finished with like a 57.6 in run blocking, according to PFF. Now, those are just the initial numbers. It could get worse. But so the run blocking was not there. You have a weapon in Hollywood Smothers, and he's one of the best pass catchers on your entire team across the middle of the field. So there's so many things that work in your favor that you can pass the ball. You can design passes to be able to move the ball down the field. I think this team needs to pass first and then set up the run after that. And that I think is a backwards logic for Dave Doran and something that it's going to take time for him to work with. But if I'm Kurt Roper, I'm going to him saying, look, here's all the film that says that we're a much better passing team. I know late game scenarios you want to run the football, but we can do this. These are essentially, 5-yard handoffs down the field with C.J. Bailey. He completes 70% of his passes. Let's go with something that makes him better, makes his team better, and continues to move the ball that way.
Let me talk about 2 quick off. Well, we already talked about Wesley Grimes, who I thought was excellent. I liked Rogers, too. We know how good Smothers can be. But Teddy Hoffman, true freshman. I mean, this guy, he had one drive, basically, it was all him. He was incredible last night.
Yeah, I mean, he's a kid we've heard a lot about this offseason. Actually, one of the latest, I believe the latest addition for NC State in the 2025 class. They went out, they found him. They lose not only Casey Concepcion, but Arion Concepcion in that class. They needed to find another slot receiver, and they ended up finding a guy that is utilized as a slot receiver and as a outside receiver. He showed it all last night and why they have so much trust in him. 4 catches for 43 yards on one drive, and then that late 50-yard pass to the boundary to be able to set up what could have been, another scoring drive. Ultimately, you don't get anything out of it, but you don't flip the field if it's not for Teddy Hoffman. You don't put your defense in a decent scenario if it's not for Teddy Hoffman. So again, he has a chance to develop into a major weapon. And I think one of the biggest positives with him and Wesley Grimes both progressing last night is the fact that you already know the relationship that C.J. Bailey has with Justin Jolie. You know what he has with C.J. Bailey. I mean, with Noah Rogers.
Right.
Now that you're seeing more weapons being added to this, coaches have to put on film and go, okay, well, this guy can also go off for 100 yards. This guy can go off for 100 yards. And they've got, the two biggest possession receivers they have didn't even have a great game in this one. This could be a team that goes for 400 yards between just 3 or 4 guys.
I mean, if I'm Dave Doran, I realize it might take, I don't know, a change to my morning coffee, but lean into your pass game because the pass game does seem it was obvious watching the game last night. The pass game's ahead of the run game. Let me get to the defensive side of the ball with Cory Smith because without Brandon Cleveland in the first half, I thought State's defense was great. Really, to me, there was the one, we caught them with their pants down moment on 3rd and long, which ended up being a long touchdown. And Dave Doran at halftime interview wore that. It's like, that's on us. We got caught, could have tackled better, yes. But ultimately the play, they kind of botched that. But I thought their defense was really good. And there were some, I thought, the normal players who jumped out, Fordham, Brown, but there were some other guys too that showed out.
Yeah, I mean, 2 transfers that came in, both ironically enough from the Mountain West. Kean Sloan comes over from Utah State, and then Sebastian Harsh, a guy that came from Wyoming. 2 guys in their final year come over to NC State in the spring transfer portal window. Like, they had not put on an NC State uniform until a month ago when they entered fall camp, and both of them were just studs last night for NC State. Kean Sloan was all over the field as an edge rusher / linebacker, and then Sebastian Harsh, a guy that we had heard a lot about this offseason, but again, haven't seen him on the field taking snaps. And it just, last night he really stood out to getting after the quarterback, and that was something that was so desperately missing from last year. Davin Vann was really good at getting after the quarterback, but didn't finish enough of them.
Right.
And it just really felt like last night they finished everything behind the line of scrimmage, 9 tackles for loss for the team as a whole. And again, that comes with ECU passing a lot late in the game, and you're still able to come away with that many tackles for loss.
Yeah, I thought their defense was good. I thought their run defense was outstanding. Really, if you're thinking about it, if you're into run defense, that was a good game for you to watch if you didn't care about the outcome, because I thought both defenses really stuffed the run. And again, other than State's first drive, there really wasn't much there. All right, what happens at place kicker, Cory?
Well, can I add something really quickly on the last point you made? That's especially important given the fact that you gave up over 200 yards rushing to one player last time out, and now you respond with holding them to negative yardage with 3 players, mind you, at running back position that were named to the Doak Walker list for ECU before the season. So their thought process is they have good running backs, and NC State was still able to stop it. At place kicker, I couldn't tell you, man. Really. Dave Doran, I think, was trying to make a statement, and obviously this is comes down to special teams coach Todd Goebel as well. They make this decision together, and Nick Konachinski is how you say his name. I don't know if we're going to have to know it very long after what happened last night. Unfortunately for him, they put him in over Kanoa Vincent, who was the starting kicker last year. Now, granted, Kanoa Vincent last year 4 of 8 on kicks over 40 yards.
Right.
But, a couple of those were past 50. He made a 50-yarder last year, but he was consistent under 40 yards. I mean, he was a guy that, went out there, made 75% of his kicks on the year as a sophomore, and somebody that, it seemed like probably the guy to hold down the position. Now what do you do? Because now you've put somebody in over him. He went 1 of 3 last night with 1 make from under 30 yards. I don't know exactly what you do, because now you've hurt the confidence of the guy who was your starter last year,
right?
By not putting him in. And you and I both know the kicker position is a very, mental one more so than anything. And this is a really tough position that you put yourself in now. I'm interested to see what they do moving forward because, Nick Kaczynski is a guy, or Koneczinski is a guy that has the distance but not the accuracy, and you got to figure things out.
Yeah, we'll just call him Nick. I thought the second miss was caused by the first miss, which was just not hit very well at all. I thought he got a lot of the second one. He was just well wide to the right from the left hash. So, he really pushed the block that one out. Looked like one of my drives when there's water down the right, down the left. Just
pulled it just a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's no good. But I don't know if Dave Doran's going to pull the plug on it just yet. He might give it another week. But yes, maybe Vincent will be back in the crosshairs before too long. Cory Smith, Pack Pride, I appreciate your time, sir. I thought it was a good start. I know there are some fans that wanted a more emphatic win, but I thought it was a good start. It was a fun game, and if nothing else, State's good TV, right?
Yes, it's a Dave Doran kind of start. It's one of those games where you can come away and say, all right, how are we going to get better between week 1 and week 2? And there's plenty on tape to come away with, and you get a win in the process over ECU after what happened last year. I think it's perfect scenario for him, other than the fact that there may be a little bit of health issues, but we'll see over the next week and a half.
Yeah, has Brown.
Yeah, no, Brown seemed like he was fine afterwards.
Okay.
Obviously, there's also a question with Noah Rogers after hitting his head pretty hard on the ground late in the game, but we'll see how those guys are. Luckily, you get 8 days in between this game, so we'll see if they're able to go out there next time around on Saturday.
Cory Smith, my friend, I appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
You got it. From Pack Pride, at R. Cory Smith on Twitter. When we come back, one-timers on a Friday. You can go to the YouTube page right now, YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Type a question in. If Victoria deems it worthy, it might get asked. Next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest conversations on the state of healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And FanDuel is giving you a reason to lock into the college football season early. And right now, new customers can bet $5 on any bet. If you win, you will get $300 in bonus bets. That's right. Bet $5 on any game. You walk away and win it. Walk away with $300 in bonus bets. That's their money. Nothing is better than wagering with somebody else's money. And FanDuel's easy to use. It's safe. And when you win, it's there in your account. I occasionally win, and it does show up. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Get started. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is Adam Gold.
Soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana, and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. We'll get to Duke on the other side of the hour, unless it comes up in one-timers. And then David Teel will join us next hour, talk a little bit about the league. Also, remember when Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the league, was at all these places? And I know he was in Raleigh and Durham yesterday. David's on a five-day tour. He was at Norfolk State last night as Michael Vick coached his first game with that program. They ended up, I think, losing to Towson. But he is going to be, I believe, in Winston-Salem tonight for Wake Forest. And then we'll figure out where else he's going. But he is on a 5-city ACC tour. Right now, it's time to ask questions.
Okay, so first up, this is exciting for William. He wants to know our predictions for the App State Charlotte 49ers game tonight at 7 o'clock. Go Nears.
I wish I knew more about what to expect from App State.
Yeah.
It obviously last year wasn't good, which is, why everything has changed. But I think App, if App can get back to doing what they have done, and Dow Loggins wouldn't tell us who his quarterback was. I hope he knows by today. I think App will win. I think they'll run the ball. So App 31-20.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that prediction. I did do a little research, and there are people saying definitely take the over. It's set at 49.5 because these two teams like to run it up. And so this one also says to pick Charlotte covering. So I don't know about that. I mean, that because it's 3.5, so they think it's going to be a close game. But we'll see. Either way, let's go Nears. And we had Dow Loggins on earlier.
Right.
He's pumped. He's jacked. So
yeah, but he wouldn't tell us who his starting quarterback was.
Well, hopefully he knows that by now. Yeah. So next up, this one from Jared. Jared's got two of them, and they're both fantastic. The first question, best place you've gotten a burger from?
best place I've gotten a burger from?
Yeah, I totally have an answer for this.
Wow. So I'm going to stay away from fast food places.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Well, seriously, I'm going to stay away from,
Okay.
Five Guys or, In-N-Out Burger or any place like that. On the low char grill. Yeah. Bad Daddy's.
Ooh, yeah. They have a really good burger.
The Magic Mushroom Burger is life-altering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Bad Daddy's. So I will say I had probably one of the best cheeseburgers from Cookout last week. But it was post a concert, so that always helps.
The chicken sandwiches at Cookout are better than the burgers.
I like their chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, better than
There's
burgers.
really not a lot that I don't like from Cookout. But I will say there's a little spot in Greensboro, and they actually made a bigger spot because it's so delicious. But if you're ever in the 336, Hops Burgers is delicious. They have a... oh, man, they put like goat cheese and a spicy pepper jelly on it. Oh, man. Garlic Parmesan French fries. I'm telling you.
Sounds good to me.
It's so good. It's too good. That's what it is. Jared's part 2 question. Drink of choice over the holiday weekend. I love his follow-up because he wants my answer to be boxed wine.
Oh, really? Well,
we'll see how the rest of Friday goes.
Give him the answer. Drink of choice over the weekend. If I partake, it's still nice outside. Gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Just go right there.
Yeah.
I'm boring.
I know. No, it's good. Lately there's been this pink lemonade fruity concoction thing that's been delicious.
Okay.
But it's still summer-ish, so summer shandies. You can't. Those are so good.
Very nice.
Those are good nowadays,
Very nice.
too. And this is probably going to be last but not least. What's the biggest area of concern for you with the NC State football team after watching them yesterday?
Running the ball. That, to me, is the only thing that I found to be disturbing. It didn't even bug me that Nick couldn't make a field goal. The inability to run the football was troubling last night. That has to get better. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough year.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are giving you a reason to lock into the college football season early. My gosh, week 1 of the college football season is just drunk with great matchups. You've got LSU and Clemson in Death Valley, the real Death Valley. Notre Dame and Miami down at Hard Rock Stadium. Absolutely amazing. And here, for new customers, bet $5, win that $5 bet. You'll walk away with $300 in bonus bets to use all over the FanDuel app, which is the greatest app you've ever used. So, have a take, use it, cash in, FanDuel.com/AdamGold, and get started today. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. All the best teams, all the cool traditions, and all the touchdowns.
Bailey 2nd and 10. Rifles it right seam in stride. Grimes has it 5. Touchdown. 48 yards. There's a laser from C.J. Bailey right on the mark.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is a more experienced group, for sure, than where we were last year. But, hey, it's a big-time game. Everybody makes a big deal about losing. I mean, listen, you play good people, man. Like, you play in games like this that game last year, both teams ended up in the playoff. I mean, Ohio State played Oregon, right, and got beat early, won the national championship. You play games like this, you can get beat, but we don't shy away from that. We don't fear losing a ball game. We don't fear that. I don't think you should ever fear that. Go play the game. I'm more excited about a chance to win. That's what I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah. Dabo Swinney getting it going for this weekend, week 1 of college football. We got all the undercard of last week out of the way. Last night, State beats ECU. Duke wins over Elon. Slow start, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Again, in a nutshell, by the way, I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria. Welcome to the program. You can join us on YouTube. Always go to YouTube and search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Either way, you will get to us. You can even leave your little comments in the chat. And I hope your football weekend is off to a good start in terms of maybe getting something monetary out of it. We won the state game last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolfpack took ECU plus the too many points, 14.5.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, State probably should have covered.
Yeah.
Many points left on the field. And under 61, so I probably would have been wrong in both counts. But that's why you shouldn't do this.
That's why it's hard.
That's why you shouldn't waste your own money. This is why if you win if you win like a $5 bet on FanDuel now, you get $300 in bonus bets, so you can lose their money.
Exactly. That's more fun.
It's so much more fun losing somebody else's money.
Yes.
All right. Before we get on into all of that, David Teel is going to join us in about 20 minutes. He is making a tour of ACC games this weekend. Wasn't an ACC game last night. Norfolk State lost at home to Towson, but it was the debut of Michael Vick as the head coach. A whole lot of excitement just around that whole idea. It was also Deshaun Jackson. Sorry. Deshaun Jackson is the head coach, I believe, at Delaware State. So it's cool to see these guys come back, right? Get involved in coaching and get involved in coaching at HBCUs, which is cool. But we'll talk to David Teel about that and the league and all of it coming up in about 20 minutes. Right now, let's roll it back. I want to run through a couple of things real quick here. First, Dabo Swinney started us off. So the Clemson LSU game is the centerpiece of the weekend as it pertains to ACC schools. If you look at the highest profile games There's really only one that does not involve an ACC school, Texas Ohio State, which it's number 1 at number 3, I believe. Can't beat that. But we start, shouts to App and Charlotte, not an ACC game, but that's the Duke Mayo Classic down in Charlotte. That will be tonight. You've got Kennesaw State at Wake Forest. Not a high-profile game, but you can watch it on the ACC network. To me, a game of real importance for the league is Georgia Tech at Colorado. Yellow Jackets are supposed to be good. You got to win it. 8 o'clock tonight. That's on ESPN. Tomorrow, noon, Syracuse at Tennessee. As Chip Patterson pointed out yesterday, or 2 days ago, Adam, this is a game you would say the ACC should not play. Yes, that's what I say. But noon in Knoxville, Syracuse won 10 last year. Go get him, Fran Brown. I don't think Tennessee's as good as they were last year. Playoff team, Tennessee. But Joey Aguilar will get a chance to watch the former App State quarterback.
Yep.
So that's a noon game tomorrow. Alabama at Florida State. First time Alabama's ever played in Tuscaloosa? Like, Florida State essentially is Alabama. I don't even understand. So, again, this falls into the category of the game I just talked about. Florida State, why? Well, why are you doing this? You're trying to bounce back from a 2-win season. Really? Whose idea was this? I realize it was scheduled before. That 3:30 game is on ABC. Then you get the headliner. LSU at Clemson, top 10 matchup, Death Valley, all of that. Tigers, we're counting on you, babe. We're counting on you, Cade Klubnik. We're counting on you, Dabo Sweeney. All of those future NFL players. Yeah, we're counting on you. Let's send Brian Kelly home with a big fat L. Sunday, Virginia Tech, South Carolina in Atlanta. Super matchup in that it does give us a little bit of a hook. It's the Beamer game. Frank Beamer created Virginia Tech's football program. Shane Beamer is doing a super job at South Carolina. Look, I'm sure South Carolina is going to win the game, but it would be nice to see Virginia Tech start showing some signs that they are going to return to, being a football flag-carrying member of this league. I remember a time where Virginia Tech represented the Coastal Division in like 5 of 7 conference championship games. They were the gold standard, basically at one point. And it's been a while since they have even been legitimately good. The ACC needs the football brands to be the football brands. Then Sunday night, that, by the way, is a 3 o'clock game on ESPN. ABC, 7:30, Notre Dame at Miami. As offensive as Catholics versus convicts is, should have been offensive then, for whatever reason wasn't. Now, that's pretty offensive. That is as good a game nationally as we're going to have in terms of two programs that draw tons of eyeballs. Yes, Texas Ohio State is still the headliner. But, man, Notre Dame and Miami are national programs. They are national football brands. Should be a blast. And then Monday night, TCU at UNC. Bill Belichick, his Carolina coaching debut. Need I say more?
Exactly.
So the entire weekend, it's almost entirely, it's drunk with ACC influence, and I am looking forward to it. Real quick about last night. Wolfpack, I thought for the most part looked good. I would be happy if I were a Wolfpack fan, apart from the one thing that bothered me, the inability really to run the football. But the defense looked good. They had playmakers. They had to come up big at the end. They absolutely minimized their outlay of points Dave Doran went into the season talking about needing to score at least 31 points a game. I mean, part of it was you tugging on the reins to kind of be overly cautious in situations. That's staying on brand. He actually talked about getting back to their identity. Yeah, in sort of a ironic way they did by scoring fewer points than they probably should have. Let's hope that will go the other way, because it's clear they've got offensive ability. Who was it? Cory
Smith.
Cory Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! I was combining Ryan Wilson and Cory Smith. But Cory Smith told us before, maybe we got to start running it, throwing it to run it. And yes, I think that's what NC State's going to have to do. We didn't get to the Duke game yet. Here we go. Duke started slow. It was 10-10 with Elon. Duke had trouble tackling the quarterback for the Phoenix. Elon was very good. Elon might be very good at their level. But ultimately, Duke's got big playability. For the most part, their defense was very good when it wasn't dealing with a quarterback who could run the ball. And here's Manny Diaz, the head coach, on the win.
There's only one thing we could accomplish tonight, and that's winning the football game, and that's exactly what we did. It was I would say a nervy start to the game. We felt a little edgy, and it took us a while to settle down. I think you have to give Elon a lot of credit, what we talked about in terms of not knowing a lot about their personnel or their schemes. I think they had us chasing shadows a little bit defensively early in the game, that we had to come in at halftime and really dial in on what they were doing. And I thought we made really good adjustments defensively, came out, got the stops, went touchdown to start the second half. And from that point on, really exerted control in the game. And then to get a score on special teams was really kind of the final blow that put the game away.
Look, I think there's a lot to like about Duke. Darian Mensah can throw the football. The running game was not so good, but they did show big playability. They had two huge runs, like 93 of their 155 yards on the ground came in two plays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they showed some big play capability at that position. Cooper Barkate, wide receiver, was awesome. Keyshawn Brown had a very good night catching the ball, but he returned the punt for the touchdown as well. So, again, a lot to like about what Duke put on the field. And apart from not really handling the quarterback run all that well by Elon, I thought Duke's defensive effort was really, really good. All right, before we get to David Teel, let's just touch on the Panthers, the final weekend before everything cranks up next week. Here's the general manager, Dan Morgan, on what he wants to see from the quarterback, Bryce Young, this season. It's a very, very big year for Bryce.
I would say just continue ascending as a leader, continue to develop the chemistry with the wideouts. It takes time to develop chemistry with wideouts and understand the way they move, the way they come out of their breaks. Where some guys attack the ball better downfield, some guys are better when you put it in different spots. So I think the sooner that he figures that out and who's out on the field and just gets that feel, the better off he's going to be. And they're already making big strides out on the practice field. And again, I've full confidence that the chemistry will come along pretty quick.
All right, now from Dan Morgan's perspective, trading Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a receiver like Adam, it's a big loss. But at the same time, we're really excited about our young core of receivers. Jalen Coker is going to step into the slot. We spent utilized a lot of resources with XL, T-Mac. So we have guys that we're really excited about. And I think that definitely made me feel more comfortable pulling the trigger and trading him.
All right. Now, one more thing. Because we all thought, well, maybe this was the method to bring Hunter Renfrow back. Was it?
Yeah, I was even texting with him last night. I told him I want him back here. I talked to his agent. I talked to him. We're in constant communication. Nothing's imminent, but we're going to stay in contact with him, and we'll try to figure something out to bring him back here.
All right. Well, they're going to try and figure it out. I know they were super impressed with Hunter Renfrow during the preseason. And then finally, before we take a break and talk to David Teel, the Cowboys did something that I'm not going to say we didn't think that they would do, although I didn't think they would do it. But they traded one of the best defensive players, not only in the league, but one of the best defensive players of like the last 15 or so years in trading. I mean, to call him an edge rusher is probably not doing Micah Parsons justice. He is a defensive disruptor, regardless of where he lines up. And he can line up just about anywhere. Anyway, they traded him to the Packers for 2 first-round picks, which more than likely are going to be somewhere between, at worst, we'll just say like 26 and the end of the first round. Like if Green Bay were to make the Final Four, the conference championship game in the next 2 years, which certainly seems possible, you're talking about a pick that could be 29th, 30th. If you make the Super Bowl, 31st or last. Are 2 of those worth Micah Parsons?
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. The whole thing for me. Now, look, Jerry Jones, we don't have to sit here and pile on and criticize him day after day after day. Why this is not like an auto. To me, it's the free space of talking about the Cowboys. If only they had competency in the general manager's position. Like, for how long have they been on the precipice, so they say, of winning? Now, they've had some good seasons. Everybody's had good seasons. The freaking Jaguars won 12 games not that long ago in a 16-game season.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's had good seasons. But the Cowboys, year in and year out, disappoint. Jerry has, for the most part, drafted well. Right? That's the part of being a GM that I think Jerry's done a pretty good job with. He's drafted well. But when it comes to doing all of the other things, he stinks. The fact that Dak Prescott has a salary cap hit of $50 million this year, $74 million next year, and then $68 and $78 the 2 years after that, tells you everything you need to know. Dak Prescott is a good NFL quarterback. He's not what you think he is. He is a good NFL quarterback. But boy, Jerry loves him some Dak. So much so that he waited until the last possible moment each time to pay him so he could pay him maximum dollars. That's how much he loves Dak Prescott. David Teel from the Newport Daily Press. I actually completely botched the name of that paper. I'll get it before we talk to David Teel, who's on an ACC tour now after his first night of a 5-day football weekend at Norfolk State. He joins us next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We are knocking on the door of the regular season for the Carolina Panthers, and there are still so many questions on the defensive depth chart. The depth, the second unit. What happens if someone gets hurt? For the Carolina Panthers defense is the type of question where the answers are harrowing. You don't want to see them. It's like the end of a horror movie. Just roll credits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday! The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary, 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give sports radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of sports radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Would you know what to do in a poison emergency? Would you know whom to call? Well, the answer is Poison Help. 1-800-222-1222. Poison Help is a 24/7 government hotline staffed by poison experts. It's free to call and available in over 100 languages. Every second counts in a poison emergency. Don't waste it wondering who to call. Save Poison Help in your phone today. 1-800-222-1222.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what are we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the 1s and 2s. Yesterday, a 5-city tour began for David Teel, who is a I'm just reading it from the Daily Press. Longtime Virginia sports writer, columnist, member of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, U.S. Basketball Writers Association Hall of Fame, National Sports Media Association, Virginia Sports Writer of the Year Award, a record 15 times. That is gross. He is the best. David Teel is joining us. You're awesome, man. I appreciate your time. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Nothing. You're living the life. Before we get to your trip to Wake Forest to check Kennesaw State, talk to me about the scene last night at Norfolk State as the Michael Vick era began as head coach. And he had some things to say after the game about really learning the rules of being a coach, which were fascinating to me. But what was that scene like? I know it was a loss to Towson. I'm not sure that mattered so much because of all the attention and what he could do for for his community, because that's where he's from. So what was that like last night?
Well, it wasn't just last night. I mean, it was a day-long scene with Stephen A. Smith and the crew from First Take broadcasting live from campus in the morning. Cam Newton showing up on set and rocking a number 7 Vic jersey. Now, but I don't want to oversell it either.
Okay.
The stands were barely half full. And by the fourth quarter, they were barely a quarter full. And, a Thursday night, school night, I mean, I kind of get it. But what was really striking to me was how many Vic jerseys were being worn by fans.
Right.
Eagles jerseys, Norfolk State jerseys, all emblazoned with number 7 and Vic. And it was I talked to a gentleman who's about 5 years younger than Vic, and he's a 7'5" guy. He goes, "There's no way I was missing this," and he was wearing an Eagles jersey.
Right.
Said Vic's been my guy since high school. And, it was that kind of vibe, and then the game lacked a lot of Towson score on its first 3 possessions. It's 13-0. I think Norfolk State got its first down late in the second quarter. I mean, they had more penalty yards than total offense in the first quarter. So it was a struggle from the jump.
Well, yeah, again, David Teel is joining us here, longtime ACC writer, but Virginia Sports Writers Hall of Fame. So I just want to put into some context. What was the interest level in Norfolk State football prior to Michael Vick? Is it the same, or was there at least some kind of a bump? And maybe it is we're all from Missouri, even though they're from Virginia, and that you're going to have to show me before we invest emotionally in it.
Oh, no, there was definitely a bump. Heck, they doubled ticket prices, Adam. They made it. They made a cash play here, man, and I don't blame them. And that's the thing. Norfolk State hired Michael Vick and took a flyer on him for one reason. The program is in desperate need of some kind of bump.
Right.
We're talking about a group that hasn't had a winning season since 2011. That is a long time, and even that had to be vacated because they were using so many ineligible players. So Vic has brought that buzz, and now folks are just going to have to be patient. You referenced, he was learning on the job. They squandered 2 of their 3 second-half timeouts far too early, one because of an injury rule that they didn't quite understand.
Right.
So, and, in penalties, they had a long kickoff return brought back. They had a touchdown pass brought back. Vic said all along that this was going to test his patience, and boy, last night really did.
David Teel, @by David Teel on Twitter, Newport News Daily Press, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, now you are headed to the first of 4 consecutive ACC stops. You will be in Winston-Salem for the Jake Dickert show, his very first game as head coach at Wake Forest after 4 good years at Washington State. Now, not a lot is expected of the Demon Deacons. What are you expecting?
Well, I'm interested for a couple different reasons. Number one, the Wake Forest program fascinates. I mean, it's, much like Duke, folks who say that Wake doesn't care about football are really mistaken, and
Right.
They haven't been on that campus and seen the football center there that the donors ponied up for. And now in concert with the city of Winston-Salem, they're planning an entertainment district around the stadium because it is off campus. They do care, but they are still a small private school with the commensurate small fan base and therefore some financial challenges. But Washington State having its own challenges, being left out of the realignment merry-go-round essentially,
Yep.
And Jake Dickert chose to move east.
So I'm going to draw a comparison between Wake Forest and Duke, 2 schools that are generally lumped together when it comes to football in the ACC. And the Duke football program is, to me, way better than people would ever imagine it being. And we do, I say it all the time, we have David Cutcliffe to thank for creating it. Mike Elko's short time here was really good. And Manny Diaz, through now 14 games, I think is taking the ball and running proverbially.
Yep.
Yes. But when you talk about Wake Forest, to me, there is a local fan base for Wake Forest that Duke does not enjoy. Last night at Wallace Wade, the Blue Devils had less than 16,000 people there.
Wow.
And this is a good team, a legitimately
Yes, it
good
is.
team with guys who will play on Sunday. And still they can't, to me, Duke's home attendance is entirely driven by the opponent. Clearly, Elon didn't bring enough fans. So it really illustrates your point about Wake. The Wake community is local, and they care about it.
Amen. They absolutely do. The last time I was at Wake was, and they had it going on with Sam Hartman, and they took Clemson to 5 overtimes with DJ Uiagalelei, who was brilliant that day, and so was Hartman. It was a great, not a good, it was a great game. And you think about it, Adam, they hit it just solid with Jim Grove, won an ACC championship. Then they hit coaching gold again with Dave Clawson, somebody who had won at every level. And now here comes Jake Dickert, who has similar variety of experience and credentials. And I'm just very interested to see if, number one, he stays at Wake Forest long term and what he can do in this new era.
David Teel is joining us, Newport News Daily Press. Went from Norfolk en route right now to Winston-Salem. If I'm not mistaken, it's 262 miles from Norfolk to Winston-Salem. Another 214, I think, to Clemson, South Carolina. At least that's what my my iPhone app tells me. To see what many people hope to be, certainly in the ACC offices, a national championship contender. How much pressure is on Clemson to at least be a major player throughout the year? And I think that starts tomorrow night.
It absolutely starts tomorrow night. Now, can Clemson afford to lose the game? Sure. So can LSU. Either one of them at 0-1 remains a very viable playoff contender, especially when you've got somebody like Klubnik or Nussmeier under center, and you've got proven coaches in Dabo and Brian Kelly. But Clemson has not advanced in the college football playoff since 2019. it's time, especially with a larger field now. And they have the talent, clearly. He's made some changes on the defensive side. I think we all believe that Tom Allen is going to be an upgrade from Wes Goodwin. They are at home tomorrow night. You know, after the Death Valley Jr. remark from Coach, do you think that place is going to be wired tomorrow night? Even a little more so.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Dabo is playing that card with his players. It reminds me, and I'm going to date myself, but I don't care. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
When Danny Ford was coaching Clemson, a really good Virginia team came in there with George Welch. And Virginia had never beaten Clemson. I repeat, never had beaten Clemson. And Danny Ford, in his pregame, convinced his guys that Virginia had champagne in the locker room, and they were going to celebrate on their terms. And after the game, after Clemson had won a very tight contest, player after player spoke to the media and said, we knew they had champagne in there, and we weren't going to let them pop it. And I'm like, oh, my God, how gullible can you be?
21-year-old kids will certainly – they'll believe anything if you sell it to them well enough. Danny Ford was, if nothing else, a tremendous salesman. I agree.
Sir.
Look, I have not been a believer in Cade Klubnik because he hasn't shown me that he belongs, that he's worthy of that kind of praise. But everybody else that I talk to believes that he will have that kind of a year. If he is that good, they look like they've got dynamic players on the, at wide receiver now. Their defense is absolutely loaded. And I think for the first time in a long time, Clemson's offensive line looks the part. For me, they haven't had a great offensive line in a minute. All right, now the other game that is not quite as big, but in some circles, I could make an argument that it's bigger. The Miami-Notre Dame game. Now, you're not going there. You're going to Atlanta for South Carolina and Virginia Tech. We're going to get to that game. But Sunday night is Miami-Notre Dame, and this is as big of a national game that you are going to find that involves an ACC school. What are your thoughts on the Hurricanes?
I would posit that Sunday night at Hard Rock is bigger for Mario Cristobal than tomorrow night at Death Valley is for either Dabo or Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
It's time. Now, I know it's only the season opener and they have started quickly before, only to fade late. But his group really has to show some moxie Sunday night, especially the way the last season ended. And no one at Miami is shying away from the hype. They are all in on their offensive and defensive lines. And of course, now they've got a college football playoff quarterback on their roster. And if Carson Beck's right shoulder is healthy, then and they believe it is, they are expecting huge things from him. And again, we talked about Clemson upgrading a defensive coordinator. I'm not so sure that of all Miami's off-season acquisitions, that Corey Heatherman's not the most important. I saw that Minnesota defense up close and personal at the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Now, granted, they were playing against a very depleted Virginia Tech team. But Minnesota was top 10 in the country last year in defense. I mean, Carolina couldn't move the ball again. I know Johnson got hurt in the game, and that was their opener a year ago. But Corey Heatherman is going to make Miami a far better defense.
All right, let me get to two more things before we let David Teel go, because I don't know how close he is to Winston-Salem right now. We don't have the track.
Close enough.
We don't have the tracker on David Teel's wheels. Virginia Tech. I've talked about this before. It's been a while since they have been like a really good Virginia Tech-ish football team. They built Thursday nights on ESPN. I mean, Lane Stadium Thursday nights essentially created Thursday night football, it seems, for ESPN's presentation of college football. And to me, that's one of the football brands the league needs to take another step forward as not a football laughingstock. If Virginia Tech is good, Miami, Georgia Tech, there's a lot of schools that need to be good, and if they are, ACC football looks better. Where is Virginia Tech? Not about hope, but where is Virginia Tech on that timeline?
That's all they've been selling of late, Adam, is hope and potential. Been 9 years since they've played in an ACC championship game. It has been 15 years since they've won an ACC title. And that is far too long in Blacksburg.
Yeah.
And two new coordinators, one a voluntary change, one an involuntary change. New O-line coach, new strength and conditioning coach. Make or break year for Brent Pry. They are 1-12 in one-score games on his watch, and he fully embraces. He owns it and says we haven't been good at situational football. He brought in a defensive coordinator in Sam Seifkas from the NFL, where they obsess over situational football to the point where Sam Seifkas was telling me this summer about a situation when he was Wofford's defensive coordinator where they gave up a 4th and 4 conversion because a linebacker broke a gap. And I'm like, oh, my God, these coaches, they live with this stuff forever. But he was using it as a teaching moment with his guys in a situation they were going over in practice. So I'm fascinated to see as this season evolves if Virginia Tech is more buttoned up. They played 2 overtime games last season, including the opener against Vanderbilt and then again against Syracuse. Did not score in either of those overtime games and did not so much as force a third down on defense in those overtimes.
Yeah, that'll have to get better. And we talked to Jim Phillips earlier this week. He's doing a 5-city tour. I told him that he should have there should be a camera crew following him as he's getting on helicopters and private planes. I'd say the same thing for you. You should be chronicling, the paper should be chronicling this on video, but you're going to close out your tour in Chapel Hill. So I'll just give you the floor here. Your thoughts on Bill Belichick, this era, and what it could mean for not only USC, but at least for the next several years, the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Gee, Adam, what might you be alluding to there? What it could mean is finally North Carolina football matters.
Yeah.
And you talk about it being a minute for Virginia Tech. Lawrence Taylor's the 757 guy where I'm from. And that's the last guy to lead North Carolina to an ACC championship. And that was 1980. Lawrence Taylor's older than I am, Adam. That's how long it's been. And if Bill Belichick can elevate that program, the investment will have been more than worth it. And heck, maybe it already has been worth it, given the visibility, given the ticket sales, given the donations, everything that has come along with Belichick and the buzz. It's the Vic effect on steroids at a Power 4 institution, but with 70 new players on the roster, I don't know about you, but I have no earthly idea what to expect.
Yeah, that was asked of me earlier, and I'm like, how do you know? I mean, that's the reason why there's no preseason hype for the football program, because we have no clue. I mean, I think Gio Lopez is going to be a good quarterback, but I don't know anybody else on the team. There are 30 new players since the spring game wearing a UNC uniform. It would have been interesting. I'd love to play the hypothetical what-if game had they not gotten in trouble in 2010. Right?
With Butch.
Right. Because I think they were about to turn it around under Butch Davis, who had an eye for NFL talent. And if he was willing to stick around for, 3, 4, 5 years and maybe not parlay it to get back to the NFL, they could have been really good for a stretch right there. They certainly had good quarterbacks, whether, I know they had TJ Yates, but it was DeBrin Renner, Marquise Williams. These are really good college quarterbacks. I think they were poised to go on a run, but it obviously did not happen for obvious reasons. It's like 1,500 miles what you're doing over. I hope that you have air in the tires. I appreciate your time, David Teel. By David Teel on Twitter, a Hall of Famer in many halls of fame, and a Hall of Famer in my eyes as well. All right, sir. Back to the road, and I will talk to you soon.
Cheers to you and Victoria, Adam. Be good.
You got it. Take care. David Teel. So, my math. Norfolk to Winston-Salem, 262 miles. Winston-Salem to Clemson, I've got it at 214. This is all according to my iPhone app. Clemson to Atlanta, 124. Could walk that. Trip Tracy could walk that.
I was going to say Trip and Frank.
Trip and Frank could walk
Already
that.
Did.
Atlanta to Chapel Hill, 380. It's more than I expected. That number seems odd to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a lot of miles. And then he's got to get home.
Yeah, there's that.
And he lives in Central Virginia. All right, when we come back, we will stretch. We will place bets. Can I give you another winner? At least one today? Yes. Next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at
the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest conversations on the state of healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org. Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is looking for people aged 21 or older to volunteer in long-term care facilities. Community Advisory Committee volunteers help residents and their families advocate for the needs of individuals living in long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and family care homes. Volunteers must complete orientation and training to become designated and certified representatives of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Visit ncdhhs.gov/contactnc to find your county's ombudsman.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. Let me go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term is.
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
That will never not be funny.
I know, it gets me every time.
Yep.
I wonder if that will be in the dictionary.
That promo, it is in the dictionary. It's in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Promo's going to be running for the next 4 years.
As it should.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, we have some good ones. That one, our boxed wine one.
Boxed wine was hysterical.
All of our cake ones. That's great.
No good promos about the actual substance of the show. Although... maybe that is the actual substance of the show.
The cake one, that came from Mike Vrabel and his carrot cake take. So
he was correct. He was absolutely correct. Much to do. I gave you a winner yesterday. I'll give you at least one winner today. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but track record. Right now, it's time to stretch.
Okay, so I like to call this first article Help Victoria Win Her Fantasy Football League.
Excellent.
Because I get to pick my players this Sunday, so I'm going to make a list because my fantasy has 12 people in it. So there's a lot, and I've been sniped like 2 or 3 times the last couple years, like right before getting ready to take somebody, and then nope. So this article specifically talks about 14 players you should not draft for your fantasy football team.
Okay.
Which felt a little clickbaity after I looked at it because they made up this list basically saying it's all about the ADP, average draft position. And they're saying that they are rating these players on their value in the draft, and they think that these players are just rated a little too high. So they're not saying don't take these players, but maybe don't take them too soon, too early on. So seeing this list, I want to get your ideas of what you thought. Number 1 on this, Sam Laporta. They're saying he's overrated. Like, don't take him early. I know.
I mean, you probably shouldn't take a tight end early.
But yeah, Sam Laporta, I feel like he helped one of my friends' fantasy leagues last year. Then there's Mark Andrews, Alvin Kamara.
Andrews is going to get hurt.
Right.
So will Alvin Kamara.
See, and number 5 on this list.
Well, Laporta did as well last year.
He did. Number 5 on this list, I feel, because I had him on my fantasy league, and he did get hurt, Joe Mixon. He's great when he's playing, but when he's playing. So, this also has people like Lamar Jackson on there, Xavier Worthy, which, yeah, I could see that. Then another one from my fantasy league last year, Baker Mayfield. He was my backup QB because C.J. Stroud did not help me at all. And then we've got Brian Robinson Jr., and Chris Olave. So these are like a handful of people that they're saying maybe don't jump the gun and get them too soon, which I don't know. You're welcome to at me on Twitter or tell us in the YouTube stream who I should go for. I'll take
I
all
am
the
not in a
ideas.
fantasy football league this year.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
Thank God.
Yeah, see, I just get way too involved in this
I
stuff.
don't.
Well, when there's money involved, not a like huge chunk, but I'm already competitive without money. As soon as you throw some green in there, I'm like, oh, let's go. And there's a trophy.
I am more apt to forget to set my roster than anything.
See, I need people like you on my fantasy team. Just have an automatic one.
Yeah.
I love those people. Hopefully
Gold
that
still
makes
has nobody playing quarterback.
and this is like the 10th round. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll give you an update on Tuesday, but let's see how our bets go.
Place your bets, place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right, I gave you state. ECU plus the points and the under. That cashed yesterday. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
I think I've got one right every day this week.
Nice.
So let's see if we can go 5 for 5. You go.
Nice. Well, hopefully I get this right. We got App State in Charlotte taking on the 49ers. Sorry, Charlotte. I know this will be airing while they're playing, but let's go Nears. Give me my App State Mountaineers, and I'm going to go with the over 49.5. That is plus 210.
All right, we're going to start with tonight. I keep forgetting. Tonight is Friday night. Georgia Tech is at Colorado. I'm putting a lot of pressure on the Yellow Jackets, but I think they cover the 4.5. I think they stay under because I don't think Colorado's all that great. I think Georgia Tech has a good defense. So let's go Georgia Tech minus 4.5, under 51.5. That is plus 253.
All right, next up, a big game. LSU, they're in Clemson. So I'm going to go with the Tigers. And you know what? I'm going to take, they get these lines just where you think it's going to go. I'll take the under 57.5. That together is plus 195.
All right, I'm going to step away from college football. We'll go to English football. Manchester United, turmoil, home to Burnley. It doesn't get much better. Draw, plus 420. I'm going to give you one more. Tar Heels, win it outright, and under 56.5.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. Think you know the game? Put your knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. With live betting, rivalry week odds boosts, and more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to own every Saturday. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Let's rent e-bikes and have a picnic.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
We need to fix the gutters. Let's make 6 trips to the hardware store and still end up with leaky spots.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Because it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got to do. It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
It's The Adam Gold Show. It is Friday.
It's a Friday.
We're all very excited.
This is hilarious. People on the YouTube stream. Oh, that's Adam Gold. I'm Victoria.
Yeah.
People on our YouTube stream. I ran out of time to elaborate on my last pick, and I just said I'm taking the Tigers in the under, but they're both Tigers.
Oh, LSU and, yeah.
I was talking about Clemson.
You're taking Clemson. Clemson and the under.
I know. I don't know how I feel about the under over, but yes, I was taking
Totally understand that.
Yeah. So yeah. For clarification purposes. That's fantastic.
Yeah. By the way, the Tar Heels to win outright and under 56.5. Like, I'm kind of banking on Bill Belichick having a defense that will stop TCU. That is plus 300 because Tar Heels are a home underdog, so they're like plus 132 on the money line at home. We could have just stayed with that. If you're not sure about points, I think I'm kind of I'm excited for the opener for UNC.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought NC State would win, and I thought that game would stay relatively low scoring, which it did. State made it more interesting than it needed to be. But I'm not put off by it. I thought State was exactly what I thought they would be. The only thing that bothered me about the game was that they didn't run the ball very well. But hopefully they'll work that out. They're going to have to run it better to be really effective throughout the season. By the way, I was looking at one quick correction. Syracuse, Tennessee is not in Knoxville. I don't know why I thought it was there. It's an Atlanta game. Atlanta game tomorrow. Atlanta game on Sunday with Virginia Tech and South Carolina.
Yeah, which West Durham did a great job last night. Speaking of Atlanta.
Wes is always top notch. Even though I disagreed with their kind of too quick to assume targeting, because I didn't think it was targeting. I thought Steve Addazio was really kind of breezy as an analyst. He was a good coach. Wasn't a great head coach, but was a good coach. But he's a fun dude, and I kind of dig that. Normally it's Tom Luganbill working with West Durham. I don't know if the crew's changed at all, and maybe Wes, who's going to be on the SMU game on tomorrow. Maybe Wes will, maybe Tom Luganbill will meet him there. I have no idea. Maybe the crew's changed. All right, but Syracuse could be kind of sneaky good, but their conference schedule, which I just looked at, are you kidding? Just in terms of league games, at Clemson, at SMU, at Georgia Tech, at Miami.
Ooh.
Those are 4 of the 5 best teams in the league.
Right.
Those are all on the road.
Wow.
They host Duke. They were picked 6th. Pitt has a bunch of NFL prospects. North Carolina. Also, all on the Syracuse conference schedule.
Wow, no breaks there.
They don't want a 9th game. It's like, you're going to throw Louisville at us too?
Yeah, they need some boxed wine.
Already. It is a Friday. All right, a quick wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's start with Dave Doran on, yes, it was a win last night. Could be better. Where in week 2, Coach, do you hope to improve?
I mean, there's a lot to get better at. I thought we stalled out in the red zone several times with penalties and tackles for losses. We went backwards. We'd have an explosive play to get down there, and then all of a sudden we'd be going backwards, and so a lot to improve on offense. A lot of good things on offense, but, our goal is to score 31 or more. That's our goal. And so we were a touchdown short of our goal in this game. And we had 2 missed field goals, which hurt us, and so that's an area we got to get better as well.
Yeah, 2 missed field goals, penalty that forced you to kick a field goal on your first drive after a beautiful 15-play. We drove all the way down the field methodically. It was just gorgeous. So, yeah, the little things will lead to more points. I mean, and to be honest, in terms of the way the game looked to me, forget about what the scoreboard said. That was way more than a 7-point needing a defensive stand to cash in type of a win. I thought State was comfortably 2 touchdowns better than East Carolina. Speaking of not worrying about what the score, don't play the scoreboard. Manny Diaz not thinking about what the numbers said.
We said it all week, and it sounds great. Don't pay a lot of attention to the scoreboard. The scoreboard doesn't really count till the end of the game. The scoreboard's a timer until it's 0. Then when it's 0, it announces the score to everybody else. And so, like you mentioned, a 1-score game at some point in the fourth quarter, that doesn't affect my standard and performance. Just go out and play. And that's why I just felt like once we got going, we just took over the game. And so, I felt great poise and I felt great confidence in our guys in the second half.
First half was a little bit more difficult. Duke had trouble tackling the quarterback, but man, they could throw the football. My big takeaways from last night were that NC State and Duke could have 2 of the best passing offenses in the league. I think State's super dangerous. They got tons of weapons. And so does Duke. Darian Mentz is good. Again, it was Elon, so grain of salt, right? But still, awesome. All right, to Dallas. Jerry Jones. What are you doing, Jerry? Why? Why'd you trade Micah Parsons?
The facts are we need to stop the run. And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times for several years. And when you have the kind of extraordinary pass rush that Michael had, then the way to mitigate that pass rush is to run at you. If the pass rush doesn't get you ahead pretty big time and you're playing even or behind, then you've really got a problem in stopping the run.
None of those are facts, by the way. But that's fine. It is a fact that they have had trouble stopping the run, but it's not a fact that trading one of the best defensive players in the entire sport will make your run defense better. But Jerry does have a message to those who say they are rebuilding.
Well, again, we've certainly got a new coaching staff. And a third of all the players are new. And so obviously there is freshness. We'll use the word new on that basis. But we have the highest paid player in the NFL at quarterback. And we made that commitment last year, and we're proud we made it. It had everything to do with this decision. Everything. It is give us every opportunity with Dak Prescott and Lamb and the base that we've got to win now. And so all you need to do, this would, I'm not so sure this would have been results had we not had Dak. But the fact that we have Dak, we need to stop the run. We really do. We need to get the ball back.
You're proud that Dak Prescott's the highest paid quarterback in the league?
Right.
Do you win anything for that?
Nope.
Is there an award for having the 13th best quarterback that is number one in salary? Do you get something? Because if you get something for it, then by all means, lift the trophy high, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Is there a 25th Amendment for an owner of a sports franchise?
Probably should be. Probably should.
All right, never mind. I'll move on from that. Strike that from the record. When we come back in the Roundtable, it is a television takeover. Next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the preseason, so me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, are back in the trenches with our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp rolls forward. Insight on the rookies, the fresh free agents and surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
The deals are heating up at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford. Get ready to rule the road in a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 with TurboMax engine for up to $5,250 off and 0% financing available for qualified buyers. Together, let's drive. Includes bonus customer select market and Chevy loyalty cash. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Trucks this tough don't sit for long, so hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
This Labor Day at Lowe's, shop member-only doorbuster deals for a limited time. Save $50 on an Ego string trimmer, now $169. Plus, get 50% off select Holland pavers. Not a rewards member? Sign up for free today. But hurry, Labor Day doorbuster deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/1 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. But why do they call it Dauntless Transmissions? Well, dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Now, the experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit dauntlesstransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
New to the area? Let me be the first to welcome you. I'm Marcy Bailey of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We've been family-owned and part of North Carolina since 1948. We have a tradition of being voted the best jewelry store with an unparalleled selection of designer jewelry, fine diamonds, engagement rings, watches, and gifts to commemorate all your special occasions. We look forward to sharing our award-winning service and stunning jewels with you. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com Bailey'sFineJewelry.com to see why every woman wants a Bailey box.
Hey, it's Tim. I have Michael O'Donnell here with me. He's the owner of All Star Dog Training and the guy with the most famous dogs in the state. From Ripken the Bat Dog to now Champ the Retriever, you guys have been busy.
We've had a great season with the Durham Bulls, Holly Springs Salamanders. Fans have been amazing. Really accepted Champ. We've got called down to the Tampa Bay Rays. We even did the Home Run Derby X with the Durham Bulls. We are really excited for NC State football.
You guys have been doing this a while, Michael.
We have. Over the past 10 years, we've trained thousands of dogs in the area. We always like to start with a free consultation to make sure that whatever method we're going to use is right for your dog and right for you. We're an open book. We want you to come in. We want you to tour our 5,000 square foot facility. We want you to meet our trainers, and we want to meet your dog.
And you offer private training too, right?
Absolutely. Everything from in-home private dog training, in-facility day trains to board and trains.
Same all-star team, new all-star name. Visit allstardogtraining.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. It is, I would say it's the calm before the first full weekend of college football, except we're already into it because we had games yesterday, a bunch. Nebraska, Matt Rule's 1-0. They beat Cincinnati 20-17. Obviously expecting another great season. By saying great, 7 wins out of Matt Rule. But ACC football tonight, Wake's at home to Kennesaw State. Georgia Tech is in Boulder to take on Colorado. That's, to me, a super important game. We got a lot of ACC football to discuss, especially local. And it's time for the Roundtable.
Camelot. It's only a model.
And I said it was a TV takeover. WRAL TV 5 represent that on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. WRAL sports investigative reporter, man about town, Mr. Brian Murphy is here, and we're also dealing with, that is so loaded, I apologize for that, Pat Welter, sports anchor, reporter as well. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll start with Pat, since we can't see Pat. We'll get him in there. How would you characterize NC State's 24-17 win over ECU yesterday?
Yeah, I think I had a little bit of a disconnect between how I viewed it and I think how a lot of NC State fans viewed it, and maybe that's because I'm not like a born and bred NC State fan with, decades of baggage. Like, right. I think, like, in a vacuum, like, I thought it was a good win. Like, you lost this game to end last season. You probably should have lost it in 2022, and you dominated a lot of the statistics, and you won. You beat a rival. Like, that in itself should be okay. But then, when you've got, this is the 13th year of Dave Doran, and right. It's kind of like things never change. Groundhog Day all over again. They kind of choke away a lead, and they don't dominate the way they should, and you kind of feel like you're like, where is this all going? But to me, like, I think, like, for me, it was like how I characterized it. Like, to me, it was a return to character. Like, yeah, okay, it was Dave Doran team, but at least it was a Dave Doran team. And last year was not a Dave Doran team, and we saw how bad that was. Like, I think this year we are right back to classic Dave Doran, 8-4 territory with some hard, gritty games.
Classic Dave Doran, almost to a fault, with maybe pulling the reins back a little bit on offense when he could have let it go and maybe get more out of it. But I agree with what you just said. Brian Murphy, thoughts on what we saw last night?
Yeah, I mean, I know that, I thought much the same as Pat. And I didn't think they pulled the reins back, right? They tried to score late in the first half. Bailey throws an interception. In the second half, they went deep to Grimes. They went deep to Rodgers. Maybe a little too much zone read for everybody's liking, but I didn't feel like they went into a total shell. Look, they beat their rival. They beat a rival to start the season. CJ Bailey looked good. Their skill position players looked good. Their new defensive transfers looked good. So, I mean, 6-0, I think, is on the board, and it'll be funny if they get to 6-0, and the fans are still upset because it's not pretty enough.
Yeah, it's funny. Here's where I thought they kind of that Dave grabbed the reins a couple of times when they had opportunities to score. In the first drive, yeah, that's a penalty that takes you out, right? That's a penalty that forces you to kick a field goal. And yeah, they dominated the first half. The C.J. Bailey interception, they could have scored again. They were fortunate not to give up points there, but they could have scored again. But I thought that there were a couple of drives in the second half in which, when they got into theoretical scoring range, it wasn't theoretical, they were in the red zone. They went a little conservative there. After the big play that got them down to the 12. Man, I would have taken shots at the end zone. Like, your passing game looks to be elite. The running game wasn't doing anything. And I thought they gave away downs trying to force a normal running game. The running game was best after the first drive when C.J. Bailey ran it. When they tried to change the math by involving the quarterback. I know he doesn't want to do that a ton, but it got him the touchdown early in the game. So that's the only reason why I thought that they kind of got a little bit too cautious in those situations, and I'd wish they'd just lean into what they do really well, which is throw the football. You're right about the defense. ECU had no success at all running the football. I'm very encouraged. I know we have a short amount of time because both of you are due in the same meeting in 10 minutes. So let's get to another team that threw the football really well. Darian Mensah, Brian, looks like he might be the truth throwing the ball. The ball comes out of his hands beautifully. Throws an accurate pass. That was an impressive passing performance, if nothing else, out of the Blue Devils last night.
Yeah, I mean, you just pump the brakes because it's Elon. I mean, that's these first games are so strange.
Right.
I just hesitate to draw too many conclusions from that first game because I just feel like there's a lot of fluke. Right, and it's Elon, but also that first game, teams come in ill prepared or better prepared. It just feels like everything kind of levels out after that first game. But yeah, I mean, if the reports are correct that what Darian Mensah is being paid by Duke, then that's the kind of performance you want to see. I look through their two deep and how old they are, how veteran they are, and think this is a team that could really surprise people this year.
Yeah, I mean, Manny Diaz said the other day he was insulted when they were picked sixth. So, I mean, they don't expect to surprise people. What'd you think of the Blue Devils, especially on offense, Pat?
Look, I mean, here's a hot take for you that I don't actually think is that hot, because Duke, dating back to Mike Elko, has been the best team in the Triangle the last several years, was the best team in the Triangle last year, and I think you can make a legitimate argument going into this year that Darian Mensah is the best quarterback in the Triangle, that Chandler Rivers is the best pro prospect in the Triangle, their cornerback on defense, and that Manny Diaz is the best college coach in the Triangle, and I'm including Bill Belichick in that conversation. Like, if this team had a bigger fan base, they would be getting a lot more buzz. I really like this team. I really like Darian Mensah. As much as Malik Murphy looked like Cam Newton physically back there, he did not have the feet. He did not have the accuracy. And what Mensah lacks in size, he makes up for in just touch, making the right play. I was obviously at the NC State game, but just going through the Mensah throws this morning, he reminds me a little bit of Drake May. where like he's not ripping the ball with like every ounce of velocity that he has, but he just always seems to make the right read. He has excellent feet in the pocket and is just a really smooth, exciting player. So, yeah, I'm really high on Duke this year. I mean, yes, it's Elon, but, I mean, the guy was like 24 of 33 for 398 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he was tremendous, and I thought the deep balls he threw were were like, pretty accurate. Sometimes guys will be so open, and the deep ball, he'll bring you back to the defense, and I thought for the most part he hit guys in stride down the field. By the way, Barkate looks like a legit, like all-conference caliber receiver to me. And I think Duke will get their running game going. It did not look great on the ground except for a couple of big chunk plays. Let's get to Bill Belichick, Pat. All right. I don't even know what to say because we have no idea what the personnel is. Literally have no clue what the personnel is. What's a good season? What's a good – I mean, let me bring it back. What's a good night Monday?
I think you got to be mentally prepared for them to lose this game. And I think if you're betting, you probably should be betting TCU. Like, there's going to be a lot of people coming in on Bill Belichick. The line's 3.5.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in college you see like, ooh, so I really want to lay 3.5 with the favorite, and the favorite wins by 14. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen because I think these Bill Belichick teams are going to be much more competitive than the Mac Brown teams. I think they've got a chance to show off much better against their rivals than the Mac Brown teams, and certainly aren't going to give up 70 points to the James Madisons of the world. But, I mean, when you've got a quarterback that just transferred in after the spring, you got 70 new players in total that we don't even know how good they are. Like, he brought in a ton of new players, but, like, none of these guys are, like, high-profile, star kind of guys. Now, I like that, like, he went about it, like, just kind of, like, addressing the trenches, addressing the lines, like the kind of positions that really matter to him. But as a guy that grew up in New England and saw the end of the New England area, I have a little bit of doubt on where Bill Belichick's player evaluations lie, given how the last 2 drafts went in New England. So I'm going at it with a skeptical eye, preparing to see a team with TCU that's got a really experienced quarterback, a team that was in the national championship 2 years ago, that finished the season last year 6-1. This is a really tough opening game for Bill Belichick, and he's a guy that historically his teams finish better than they start. And I think it's a long-term curve for Bill. It might only be a 1-year long-term curve, but I'm ready to not overreact to what I see Monday night.
All right, I've already guaranteed a win by the Tar Heels and under 56.5. Murph, I know you've been all over what's going on at UNC. Your thoughts on the opener?
Yeah, it's just, as Pat said, it's really hard to know what this personnel is going to look like. Like, I was looking through the numbers today. Kobe Paysour is their leading receiver that's come back. Jordan Shipp, who had 9 catches, is like the spokesperson for the team.
They brought him to ACC football kickoff.
Right. And what he said the other day on Wednesday was like, look, it's like ESPN College Game Day, prime time. Like, I've never been on a stage like that. And outside of Belichick, nobody on this Carolina team has been on a stage like that. How are they going to react to that level of attention, to that many people in the stands? They've been under the spotlight for a long time now, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond. I mean, their entire defense is transfers. I mean, Marcus Allen, Will Hardy in the defensive backfield maybe, but the rest of it is all transfers. Some of them I'm high on, but some of them you just don't know. We haven't seen them. I think this team should play smart football. I mean, that's the one thing I think you might be able to say about Belichick teams. They should play smart football. If they can squeak out a 24-17 win like NC State did, I think, Chapel Hill will be partying well into Tuesday morning.
There's no question about it. I'm counting on Bill Belichick getting the most in terms of, like, how many wins I can get out of this team. I'm counting on Bill doing that. And I'm counting on that in the opener, and I might just be crazy. All right, final thing for Brian Murphy and Pat Welter, both of WRAL TV5, who are 3.5 minutes away from a very important meeting. So I'll close with you first, Brian. Adam Thielen traded by the Panthers back to the Vikings. Thoughts on, are you happy with it?
Look, you've invested a lot of resources, a lot of capital into your wide receivers, and I guess it's time to see what they can do, right? Let's see what McMillan can do. Let's see what Leggett can do. Let's see what Bryce Young can do without a safety blanket of Adam Thielen. Like, I don't think Adam Thielen is moving this team from not being in the playoffs to being in the playoffs. It seems like part of it was a solid for Adam Thielen to get him back home to a team that needs some receiver help, but given how much you've invested your draft capital in the wide receiver room, like, let's see it. Go out and do it. Go out and do it without the 35, 36-year-old veteran safety blanket. And so that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't think Adam Thielen is a make or break player for this roster.
Pat, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, they got to recoup some draft capital somewhere, and I guess like getting like whatever they got, like 4th, 5th round pick and like so a pick swap in the future, blah, 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 right, is something for a guy that you're just going to lose for nothing after this season. But I don't know. Like, I as much as I like Xavier Leggett, the story, the player has been very underwhelming. And speaking of draft capital, they traded up for him.
Yeah.
I just think Adam Thielen has been the best receiver they've had. And when you're trying to build around Bryce Young, letting him walk to then insert Jalen Coker and hopefully a healthy Xavier Leggett, to me is, I don't know. It's questionable. So, we're going to see, like, this team, this front office, this coach, like, I like the direction. There seems to be a direction, which is something, but, like, I'm not sure I'm in all the way yet after, especially what we saw in the preseason.
All right, well, as we let you go, I think the reason they made this trade was because they see Jalen Coker as needing the time that they would have given to Adam Thielen. So to me, It's not about Leggett. It's not about Tedero McMillan. It's about Jalen Coker, also an undrafted free agent. So some synergy there. But that's what it's about for me as much as anything, and doing Adam Thielen a solid. Brian Murphy, WRAL TV5 Sports. Pat Welter, same. Get into your meeting. You've got 45 seconds. Otherwise, they're going to slam the door shut.
Thanks for having us. What happened to the arm?
Coverage.
What? The arm's fine. The arm's fine. But I just like wearing the sling, Brian.
Oh, you're good to go.
Yeah,
you're good to
it's
go.
just fun.
Good to go.
It's fun. People ask me about it all the time. So it's always fun. It's like when you have a cast on and you're in a ski lodge. There's nothing like that, by the way.
Not to delay this longer, but the most interesting guy to me Monday, Sonny Dykes. He was on the sidelines when Deion Sanders made his college debut, and they lost. Colorado beat TCU.
That's right.
And now he's got to face Bill Belichick in his college debut. I can promise you Sonny Dykes does not want to lose this game.
Oh, man.
I mean, he doesn't want to lose any game, but this one I got to think is going to mean a little bit more to him.
Gosh, he'll everybody with a high-profile coach making their debut will be trying to schedule TCU if that happens. All right, get to your meeting.
All right.
See you, Adam.
Brian Murphy and Pat Welter. I was trying to get him to the meeting on time. Normally, we'll go forever in these segments. All right, when we come back, in a rewind, we got to do that. Plus, we're going to give you winners. Just winners. Forget about point spreads. Winners of an entire ACC slate of games. Next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family.
With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And FanDuel is giving you a reason to lock into the college football season early. And right now, new customers can bet $5 on any bet. If you win, you will get $300 in bonus bets. That's right. Bet $5 on any game. You walk away and win it. Walk away with $300 in bonus bets. That's their money. Nothing is better than wagering with somebody else's money. And FanDuel's easy to use. It's safe. And when you win, it's there in your account. I occasionally win, and it does show up. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Get started. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. Every Friday at this time, we're going to try to make picks, and we'll give you the winners of every ACC game. That sound like fair? There are 16 ACC games this weekend. Stanford, who lost at Hawaii, still sleeping that off, so they are off this weekend. But we've got 17 teams in the league. There are no conference games just yet, although I believe we get into it next week. So we have 16 games. We've already played 2. We went 2-0 in those. Told you State would win. Told you Duke would win. I mean, I don't believe I've split the atom there. Not that difficult, although shouts to East Carolina for making that a competitive game. And it was 10-10 between Duke and Elon at halftime when people were somewhat freaking out.
Yes.
Week 1, people.
Yeah.
Week 1 is odd.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 is weird. Maybe we'll prove that.
Be kind to your blood pressure. It'll
Yes.
be a long season.
Do you want to make some of these picks as well? Can we have a music bed?
Oh, yeah, I will find one.
Yeah, let's do a music bed for this. It always sounds much more official when there is a music bed. I just, for whatever reason.
There we go.
It's as good as any. All right, Wake Forest, Kennesaw State tonight.
Mm-hmm.
at whatever the corporate moniker is of their field in Winston-Salem, Jake Dickert's era begins. I mean, no reason to pick Kennesaw State here. Although, shouts to former Central coach Jerry Mack. He's in charge of Kennesaw State. But we'll take the Demon Deacons to win that. Georgia Tech is in Boulder to take on Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes. I have very, very high hopes that Georgia Tech will sort of continue the progress they showed last year. Should have beaten Georgia in the season-ending game. I think the Yellow Jackets win that. Pitt and Duquesne, an inner-city battle in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think Pitt can handle that. All right, we move on. I mean, nobody really cares. Syracuse and Tennessee. Here is where week 1 gets us. I've been bitching about Syracuse. You shouldn't play this game. Orange are going to win it.
Okay.
Game's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Syracuse is going to win it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
He
Put it
says
down.
with no conviction at all, Syracuse is going to win the game. I think that this is no disrespect meant to Joey Aguilar, right? We love Joey Aguilar for what he did for App State. I don't know, man. There's something about what Fran Brown is doing at Syracuse that makes me think this is going to be another program, another year where, really, Syracuse is going to play good football? Just maybe. All right, Fordham is at Boston College. Whatever. BC. If BC can't handle this, come on. Eastern Kentucky, Louisville. We're taking week 1 off. Louisville wins that. Alabama's at Florida State. Man, no. All the pressure we talk about being on Clemson and Dabo Swinney. Or in some ways, not in some ways, for the same reason, James Franklin and Penn State. Not quite for the same reason. Penn State, under James Franklin, has not at any point proven that they can win that game. Right? Dabo Swinney has. He's won 2 titles. Penn State, no. So there is a ton of pressure on Franklin and that program to win one of those games. I'm not talking about a national championship game. I'm just talking about a big game. But the pressure on Kalen DeBoer at Alabama to have that program back to where they believe it absolutely always has to be, I would point this out. And this is not a knock on Kalen DeBoer. Washington and winning big at Washington and dealing with Alabama are 2 different universes. And think about Alabama pre-Nick Saban. It wasn't like they couldn't win because Gene Stallings won a national championship. But in between Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, yes, they did win a title. There was a lot of underwhelming football played at Alabama. It took Nick Saban to return them to glory. In many ways, I'll say the same thing about Southern Cal's football program. In between, whether it was John McVay or John Robinson and Pete Carroll, there was a lot of Ted Tollner. Is Kalen DeBoer that guy? There's a lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer, but I think they'll beat Florida State. Coastal Carolina and Virginia. A lot is expected, believe it or not, of the Wahoos. And I don't think this is a vintage Coastal Carolina squad, so I expect Scott Stadium to be enough for UVA, but it will be interesting to see if Tony Elliott has that team pointed in the right direction. Okay, Death Valley, LSU, Clemson. I think it's going to be fun. I was looking at Ryan Wilson, who joined us earlier. We're actually going to hear from him in the rewind. I was looking at Ryan Wilson's top 50 for the next NFL draft. He's got 3 Clemson Tigers in the top 10. He's got Peter Woods, number 1 overall. Another defensive lineman. He's got Antonio Williams, the wide receiver. He has got Clemson players, 4 Clemson Tigers in his top 21. That Clemson team has to show out in the opener. It's not the end of their season if they were to lose it. Does put them a little bit playing catch-up. Same for LSU, by the way, who's got playoff aspirations. But I think, man, at home, Saturday night, tomorrow night, Death Valley, Clemson's going to win this game. SMU beats Texas A&M. California goes on the road to Oregon State. It's not a Power 4 game, but I'm not sure California's a Power 4 team either. Oregon State will win that. Coming up on Sunday, Virginia Tech, South Carolina in Atlanta, the Beamer game. Gamecocks will win it. Notre Dame and Miami, I think Sunday's a tough day for the ACC. I'd love to say that Miami is going to win that game, but I do not trust that. I don't trust that defense, even though David Teel was selling the new defensive coordinator, turning it around. I think Notre Dame is legitimately good, and I think Notre Dame will run the ball. TCU and UNC. Drum roll.
With one arm.
Yeah,
I'm do it.
Yeah, it's starting to come back a little bit. Hope my the orthopedic surgeon's not watching the video.
Right, they probably wouldn't approve of that.
UNC will win the game over TCU. All right, so Syracuse, Pitt, BC, Louisville, Alabama. I can't read. UVA, Clemson, SMU, Oregon State, South Carolina, Notre Dame, UNC. Oh, I forgot Wake Forest and Georgia Tech from tonight. Those are your winners. So, all in all, I think that would be a pretty good opening weekend for the ACC. All in all, pretty good. Not awesome. Awesome would be Miami beating Notre Dame. That's what would make the weekend awesome if Miami were to beat Notre Dame. We want the football brands to look like football programs. All right, with that said, let's rewind. I'd start with Cory Smith from Peck Pride. All right. My feeling is that NC State was significantly better than the final score or the bitten to the bone fingernails of their fans would indicate. Cory, your read.
Yeah, it's a weird outcome because it's one of those games. I agree with you completely. I mean, it never felt like this game was out of control for NC State. You had it within your reach the entire time, and there were several moments where you have a chance to step on their throat, and NC State just did. And I don't know if it was all on Doran. Some of the questionable play calling late, or if you want to say it's on Kurt Roper, but this is kind of a Dave Doran special type of thing that typically happens late in games. But there were also moments like, and I broke it down this morning. C.J. Bailey, we like to say how great he is, and obviously he had some big moments last night. But you look at the late first half interception. That's a moment where you have a chance to kick a field goal or get a touchdown and put yourself in easier control going into the half. And the second half, in the beginning of the fourth quarter, they're driving down the field, and he takes a sack. They try to kick a field goal, don't make a field goal, do the exact same thing. The very next drive, they get conservative, try to kick a field goal. It's just, there were so many moments where they had to pull away, and I think that may be a comfort level for you to come away and going, all right, they could have won this game in a bigger fashion, but they just didn't quite do that. Now you work on those things, and you become a better team within the next 8 days before you face UVA.
All right, so after the game, Dave Doran talked about, we're getting back to our identity. They absolutely did that in both good and bad ways, because part of NC State's identity over the last several years has been, why did we leave all those points on the field? It could have either been an easier win or a win. And that happened last night. Your opening drive is great until the personal foul penalty takes you out. Now you have to kick a field goal. They got that one. They missed 2 others later, but Cory referred to it. There was some questionable play calling in the second half once State got themselves into scoring territory. So I'd love to see them lean into the pass game and go for it. Right? I'm not talking about go for it on fourth down. I have no problem with the way they treat those plays in general, not always, but in general. But especially last night, after NC State's first drive, they didn't run the ball at all. They could not run the ball. And yet, they seem to keep trying. And I have no problem with that, except that you could have scored another, really 2 touchdowns, right? And I just felt like they got a little bit conservative. Conservative might not be the right word. Careful. And yes, C.J. Bailey did take a sack on one drive. That was a difference of about 4 yards, but still. And I thought that they did not max out. I thought NC State was significantly better than ECU last night. It was somewhat, not alarming, but remarkable to me that the Pirates actually had a chance to win that game. And Blake Harrell did say that he would have gone for 2 had they scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer, by the way.
Yep.
You have a chance to win the game on one play? 100 times in a row you do that. Don't give me, on the road, at home. No. If you're East Carolina and you have a chance to, if you're the better team, I get it. The longer the game goes, the better chance you have of winning. If you watch that game, we all knew State was the better team. But if you're in ECU's position, home, road, it doesn't matter. You go for a win on a one-play situation.
Yeah, the purple makes him think like Harbaugh. It must be a thing, a purple thing.
Hey, I wonder, I didn't see, because I wasn't spending, I was on social media, but I wasn't a slave to it last night. The script sort of writing on NC State.
Yeah.
I kind of dug it. It wasn't traditional, a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of dug it. By the way, North Carolina is kind of boring. Blue helmet, blue, jerseys. Not doing the old school blue jerseys, but white, as they call them, breeches.
Oh, boy.
Whatever.
I want to see Bill Belichick say breeches.
Yeah. By the way, there was a video, social media video, of they have a cutoff gray interlocking NC sweatshirt.
Jordan, you better trademark it.
Duh. Yeah, exactly. Gold. Does it say Gold Digger on it?
I know.
If it says Gold Digger on it, then I'm right there with you. All right. Micah Parsons traded yesterday, which I never thought the Cowboys would do it. But here's, big picture. If this is where you ended up, and you're going to pretend that this was the right move for you for now, which is what Jerry said, why didn't you trade him in March? You actively tried to negotiate with him for 6 months, and now it's the right move? I can't make sense of this from a Cowboys perspective. Ryan Wilson, CBSSports.com, seems to me that this just got emotional for Jerry, and he reacted emotionally.
I think that's exactly what happened. And, you watched the press conference yesterday evening, and it's like when your kid runs the car into the mailbox and you're standing there looking at the car in the mailbox and the car's smoking and the kid's explaining to you how it wasn't his fault. He wasn't driving the car and this has nothing to do with him. He's still sitting behind the wheel with the seatbelt on. And I think everyone, pretty early on in that press conference just figured out, okay, this is just Grandpa going on a rampage.
Yeah.
And he's not making sense. And look, I'm not saying that Jerry's senile because he's been this way for 35 years in terms of how he's run that team. It's just that Jerry's being Jerry. And you talked about it, Adam, they're going to have 2 bottom of the first half, bottom third first-round picks 20 to 32, almost certainly, because that's how good the Packers were the last 2 years after Jordan Love became a starter, and now they're going to be even better because of the players they just added. And I went back and looked, and look, you can hit a home run in that range in the draft. Ed Reed, Vince Wilfork, Cam Hayward, Cam Jordan, T.J. Watt. But those guys are the exception.
Right.
The reality is, going back the last 25 years, is that when you pick in that range 20 to 32, you're getting a replacement-level player on average. And even, I'll put this to you, let's say that they crush it, the Cowboys do with these two picks, and they get players that were taken in that range in last year's draft class. Let's say they get a Quinyon Mitchell talent and a Brian Thomas Jr. talent.
Yeah.
Both guys drafted after 20. Does that make them better than if they just kept Micah Parsons and bait him?
No. Here's the thing. It certainly makes Green Bay better. And this was my first reaction when I saw the return. Yeah, Kenny Clark is a good defensive tackle, and Green Bay will have to stop the run without a good run stopper. They'll have to find somebody else. But Micah Parsons is one of those players. There's a reason why Green Bay willingly paid him. I think the guarantee is like $134 million over 3 years. Yeah. That's crazy. But there is a reason that they did it. Do you remember, Victoria, you may remember this, when John Gruden took over as the coach of the Raiders?
Yeah.
And they traded Khalil Mack.
Yes.
I'm not putting Khalil Mack, who was a great player. I'm not putting him in the Micah Parsons category, but he was a pretty spectacular player. Great pass rusher. They trade him to the Bears for whatever it is they got. We got about 6 weeks into the season, and Gruden, who had lost another game, has a press conference and goes, man, it's hard to find guys that rush the passer.
Yep. Gruden?
You had one.
Uh-huh.
And you traded it. Because of, for whatever reason, that the Raiders decided they needed to make that trade. In my opinion, Dallas screwed this up from the beginning. The Micah Parsons contract should have been signed before last season, not before his 5th season. You can sign first-round picks to long-term extensions after 3 years. They should have gotten out ahead of it, but that's not the way Jerry does business, and Jerry continuously gets burned. The fact that he was celebrating Dak Prescott being the highest-paid quarterback in the league tells you it's time to take away Jerry's car keys. You can't drive anymore, old man. It's over. I don't understand. Any parting thoughts before we get to the weekend, Victoria?
Everyone have a great, long, hopefully, and safe weekend. There's no organized violence, so that's sad.
Man, they're taking Labor Day off.
Yeah.
Go Heels on Monday night. See you Tuesday.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Tonight on Compass Media Network's coverage of NCAA football.